Welcome to our channel, Legends of Black Excellence, where we dive into the stories that shaped Hollywood, both good and bad. In today's video, we're taking a closer look at the 20 biggest black jerks in Hollywood history. From scandalous behavior to controversial moments, these celebrities left their mark on the industry for all the wrong reasons. Stay tuned as we reveal the shocking truth behind the names that have caused the most buzz, and see if your favorite made the list. You won't want to miss this. Monique, an Oscar-winning actress and comedian, should have had Hollywood at her feet after her unforgettable performance in Precious, 2009. Instead, she found herself in a fierce battle for recognition. Monique accused some of Hollywood's biggest names, including Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, and Lee Daniels, of blackballing her after she refused to work for free on the film. Her refusal to accept the industry's norms made her an outcast in a place where staying silent is often the safest path. In 2018, Monique made headlines once again when she publicly called for a Netflix boycott. She claimed the streaming giant offered her $500,000 for a comedy special, while Amy Schumer was paid $13 million for the same type of deal. Monique raised an important question. Why are black female comedians not compensated fairly compared to their white counterparts? While some rallied behind her, others criticized her as difficult and entitled. Her battle against the inequality in the entertainment industry took an even more personal turn when she called out fellow comedians like Kevin Hart and Steve Harvey, accusing them of selling out. Despite the backlash, Monique never backed down. Her persistent fight for equal pay and respect in Hollywood eventually led to a legal settlement with Netflix, and she secured her own comedy special. But the question remains, did her fight for fairness tarnish her career, or did Hollywood prove her point? The controversy surrounding Monique's career highlights the broader issues of inequality in the entertainment industry, especially for black women who often have to fight harder to achieve the same level of recognition. Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey is a well-known television host who has captured the hearts of many with his infectious smile and humor. However, behind the camera, his reputation paints a very different picture. In 2017, an internal memo leaked revealing Harvey's strict and controlling behavior, which included banning his staff from approaching him. The memo read, "Do not attempt to walk with me in the hallway. If you open my door, expect to be removed." This was just the tip of the iceberg. Former colleagues have described Harvey as demanding and difficult to work with. He was accused of firing employees without warning and skipping rehearsals, leaving others to pick up the slack. One former employee even stated that if you weren't useful to him, you were disposable. But perhaps the most infamous moment in Harvey's career came in 2015, during the Miss Universe pageant. Harvey mistakenly crowned Miss Colombia as the winner, instead of Miss Philippines, sparking global outrage. The blunder led to worldwide criticism, and many blamed Harvey for not being properly prepared. Even more controversial was his repeated joking about the incident in the years that followed, despite Miss Colombia publicly stating that it was a deeply traumatic experience for her. While Harvey's talent and achievements in the entertainment industry are undeniable, his controversial off-camera behavior and public blunders have certainly added a dark side to his legacy. Despite his success, many continue to question whether his treatment of others behind the scenes has tainted his overall image. Katt Williams. Katt Williams is one of the most legendary comedians in the world, known for his sharp wit and larger-than-life stage presence. But behind the laughs, he's often been described as a ticking time bomb, leaving chaos wherever he goes. While his comedic genius is undeniable, his offstage antics have overshadowed his career more than his jokes ever could. Over the years, Williams has been arrested over a dozen times, with charges ranging from assault to weapons possession. One of the most infamous incidents occurred in 2016, when he got into a physical altercation with a 17-year-old and lost. But it didn't stop there. Williams has been involved in multiple incidents with fans, employees, and even fellow comedians. In 2012, he was accused of slapping a Target employee, and in 2018, comedian Tiffany Haddish revealed that he threatened to fight her backstage at a comedy event. Why? He didn't think she was funny. His interviews, while memorable, often didn't leave the best impression either. In a 2018 radio show appearance, he insulted the host's hair, mocked Kevin Hart, and accused Hollywood of stealing his ideas. When the host clapped back, Williams reportedly drove to the radio station, ready for a confrontation. Katt Williams' talent is indisputable, and his comedic style has earned him a dedicated following, with an Emmy Award to prove his success. However, his erratic behavior offstage, combined with his long history of public outbursts and legal troubles, has made him a highly controversial figure in Hollywood. Despite the chaos, his career still has a loyal fanbase, but his reputation will always be tainted by his unpredictable and often destructive actions. Damon Dash. Once hailed as a kingpin in the music industry, Damon Dash has burned so many bridges that even his closest allies have distanced themselves. As a co-founder of Roc-A-Fella Records, Dash played a pivotal role in launching Jay-Z's career, helping build a music empire from the ground up. However, instead of continuing to lead the empire, Dash became known for his arrogance, aggression, and inability to collaborate effectively with others. One of the most infamous moments in his career was his public fallout with Jay-Z, which ultimately led to Jay-Z severing ties in 2004 and taking full control of Roc-A-Fella Records. Dash was furious about this split and publicly accused Jay-Z of stealing the company from him. Despite this setback, Dash continued to boast about his role in the company's success and refused to let go of his bitterness, which only worsened his reputation in the industry. Dash's contentious personality wasn't confined to his relationship with Jay-Z. His outbursts and reckless spending alienated other industry figures, and his attitude made him increasingly difficult to work with. While Dash's contributions to the rise of hip-hop culture through his work at Roc-A-Fella Records are undeniable, his inability to maintain professional relationships has undeniably tarnished his legacy. Despite being a major player in shaping the music industry, Damon Dash's reputation is marred by his own actions, and his career has faced numerous setbacks as a result of his controversial behavior. Stacey Dash. Stacey Dash was once the darling of Hollywood, beloved for her iconic role as Dion in the 1995 hit Clueless. As a young star, she had everything going for her: youth, beauty, and a promising career. But as time went on, Dash's public persona took a sharp turn, and she became one of the most controversial figures in Hollywood. Her political views, which leaned far-right, alienated much of the black community, and her outspoken opinions often put her at odds with her former colleagues and fans. One of her most infamous moments came in 2016, when she called for the end of Black History Month, arguing that it was unnecessary and that it only divided the nation further. Her comments sparked a backlash, with many celebrities, including those from BET, where she had previously worked, mocking her for what they saw as ignorance. Instead of backing down, Dash doubled down on her stance, further distancing herself from the industry that once embraced her. Despite the controversy surrounding her views, Dash's talents as an actress are still remembered. Her role in Clueless remains one of the most beloved in 90s film, and she was a standout presence in the ensemble cast. However, her career has suffered as a result of her polarizing political stances and inability to reconcile her beliefs with the Hollywood establishment. While Dash may have had the potential for a long and prosperous career, her decisions and public remarks turned her from a rising star to a figure largely shunned by the very industry that once embraced her. Tyrese Gibson. Tyrese Gibson is a multifaceted talent, known for his smooth R&B hits and his role in the action-packed Fast and Furious franchise. However, behind the scenes, his career has been marred by public meltdowns and controversies that make him one of Hollywood's most unpredictable figures. In 2017, during a bitter custody battle over his daughter, Tyrese shared an emotional video on Instagram, crying uncontrollably and pleading for sympathy. Instead of receiving compassion, his emotional outbursts quickly turned into memes, further damaging his public image. Tyrese's behavior became even more erratic when he publicly lashed out at Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. The issue? The Rock's Hobbs and Shaw spin-off, which Tyrese blamed for delaying the next Fast and Furious film. Tyrese's posts on social media were filled with anger and accusations, causing a rift between the two stars. The public feud only made matters worse for Tyrese, as many saw him as petty and unprofessional. Despite his talents and box office success, Tyrese's personal drama has overshadowed his career. His inability to separate his personal life from his professional one has led to public scrutiny, with many questioning his maturity and emotional stability. While his work in the Fast and Furious series and his music career are noteworthy, his reputation continues to suffer due to his frequent outbursts and social media rants. Tyrese Gibson's unpredictable behavior has become as famous as his talents, leaving fans and colleagues alike unsure of what to expect next from the volatile star. Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams built an empire by tearing down celebrities, using her sharp tongue and no-holds-barred approach on her talk show to make a name for herself. Known for her blunt style and willingness to spill the juiciest details about the lives of stars, Williams became a household name. However, her rise to fame wasn't without controversy. Her sharp words earned her enemies, including Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, and Method Man, with whom she became embroiled in public feuds after spreading false rumors. While her candid approach made her popular with many fans, it also alienated those who found her style too harsh and intrusive. But as Wendy Williams learned the hard way, the public spotlight can be unforgiving. When her personal life fell apart, her marriage ended after her husband's infidelity, and she lost her talk show, it felt like karma had come full circle. Many saw her downfall as a form of poetic justice, with the same public scrutiny she once subjected others to now turning back on her. While Wendy Williams made a lasting impact on daytime television with her bold persona and sensational gossip, her career has been marred by the very drama and chaos she helped create. Despite her troubles, Williams' career highlights cannot be overlooked. Her talk show became a platform for raw, often controversial discussions, and she earned multiple awards for her work. But her public persona, which helped her rise to fame, eventually contributed to her fall. Wendy Williams is a perfect example of how fame and success can come at a steep price, and how the very things that elevate someone can also lead to their undoing. Cuba Gooding Jr. Cuba Gooding Jr. was once an Oscar-winning actor, known for his charismatic performances in films like Jerry Maguire, 1996, where his unforgettable line, "Show me the money," became a cultural touchstone. He seemed poised for a long and successful career in Hollywood, but over the years, his personal and legal troubles have overshadowed his talent. Since 2019, Gooding has been accused by over 30 women of sexual misconduct, with allegations ranging from unwanted touching to harassment. In 2022, the actor pled guilty to one count of forcible touching, marking a significant fall from grace for someone who once had the world at his feet. His career, which once saw him as a leading man in Hollywood, has now been defined by courtroom drama more than movie roles. In addition to the legal troubles, Gooding's public behavior has further fueled his downfall. He has been known for his erratic conduct and public drunkenness, which has only made his reputation more tarnished. Despite his past successes, including his Oscar win and memorable performances in films like A Few Good Men and As Good as It Gets, Gooding's legacy is now primarily associated with his legal issues and erratic behavior. His once promising career has been reduced to a cautionary tale about the dangers of public scrutiny and personal misconduct. What was once a shining Hollywood star is now a figure who has become more famous for his court cases than his acting career. Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon is an entertainment mogul who built an empire through his work as a comedian, TV host, and producer. He achieved massive success with Wild 'N Out and later as the host of The Masked Singer. Despite his career achievements, Cannon's personal life and controversial statements have consistently made headlines for all the wrong reasons. In 2020, he was widely criticized for making anti-Semitic comments on his podcast, which led to his firing by Viacom-CBS. This incident was a major setback in his career, tarnishing his once respected reputation in the entertainment industry. Adding to the controversy surrounding him is Cannon's unconventional view on relationships and fatherhood. With 12 children from 6 different women, Cannon has been open about his belief in not adhering to traditional monogamy. His comments about fatherhood and his multiple relationships have sparked debates about his responsibilities as a parent. While Cannon defends his choices as part of building a legacy, many have criticized his approach as irresponsible, with some questioning whether he can truly provide adequate attention and care to so many children. Despite these controversies, Cannon has remained a key figure in entertainment, continuing to host major shows and build his business empire. His career has been marked by both brilliance and backlash, with his personal life often overshadowing his professional accomplishments. Nick Cannon's story is one of success intertwined with scandal, showing that while talent can take you far, controversial actions can sometimes be hard to shake off. Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg is a legendary figure in Hollywood, having earned an EGOT, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony, for her remarkable contributions to the entertainment industry. Her career has spanned decades, and she has become one of the most respected actresses and talk show hosts in the world. From her iconic role in The Color Purple to her beloved presence on The View, Goldberg has solidified her place in Hollywood history. However, despite her immense talent, Goldberg's outspoken views have often landed her in trouble. One of the most shocking controversies came in 2022 when Goldberg made comments about the Holocaust on The View. She claimed that the Holocaust was not about race but rather human brutality. The backlash was immediate and severe, with Jewish organizations and historians condemning her for her lack of understanding of one of the most horrific genocides in history. Her comments sparked outrage worldwide, leading to her suspension from the show for a period of time. Goldberg's blunt approach to speaking her mind has often been a double-edged sword, earning her both admiration and criticism. While she is lauded for her trailblazing career and advocacy for underrepresented communities, her tendency to make controversial statements has occasionally overshadowed her achievements. Despite the controversies, Goldberg remains a dominant figure in Hollywood, continuing to contribute to entertainment in various roles. Yet, her legacy is now complicated by the very outspokenness that once made her a beloved figure. Chris Brown. Chris Brown, a talented singer and dancer, was once seen as the next Michael Jackson. With his smooth voice, impressive dance moves, and undeniable charisma, he had everything needed to become a global superstar. His music was topping charts, and his performances were celebrated, earning him numerous awards and a massive fan base. But despite his incredible talent, Brown's history of anger and violence has continuously haunted him. The most infamous and career-defining moment of his life came in 2009, when he brutally assaulted his then-girlfriend, Rihanna. The images of her injuries were shocking, and the incident sent shockwaves through the music industry and beyond. Brown pled guilty to felony assault, but the damage to his reputation was irreparable. His once promising career was overshadowed by the public's outrage, and his actions cast a long, dark shadow over his accomplishments. Despite the public's backlash and the legal consequences, Chris Brown's talent remains undeniable. He has continued to release hit songs and maintain a dedicated fan base, but his violent past often eclipses his musical achievements. His struggles with anger and his repeated run-ins with the law have kept him in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. The tragic part of Chris Brown's story is that his potential as an artist has been repeatedly overshadowed by his inability to control his temper, preventing him from fully realizing the greatness that once seemed inevitable. Jussie Smollett. Jussie Smollett had it all: a successful acting career, a hit TV show, Empire, and a strong fan base. He was on the rise, celebrated for his talents and his prominent role in one of the most popular TV shows of the time. But in 2019, his life took a bizarre turn when he staged a hate crime attack to gain attention and sympathy. Smollett claimed that two masked men attacked him, shouting racial and homophobic slurs, and even placing a noose around his neck. The media and public were initially supportive, rallying behind him as a victim of a senseless hate crime. However, the truth soon came to light. The Chicago police discovered that Smollett had orchestrated the entire attack, hiring two men to stage the assault. Security footage even showed the men purchasing the rope used in the staged incident. The revelation was a devastating blow to Smollett's career and reputation. Once viewed as a rising star, he was now accused of fabricating a hate crime for personal gain, leaving many questioning his integrity and motives. Despite his past successes, Smollett's career has been permanently altered by this scandal. His actions not only tarnished his image but also undermined real victims of hate crimes, causing significant damage to his credibility. The irony of Smollett's situation is that, while he had everything going for him, he chose to fabricate a story that would ultimately destroy the very career he had worked so hard to build. Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart was once one of the most beloved comedians in Hollywood, known for his infectious humor and remarkable rise from stand-up comedy to becoming one of the biggest names in entertainment. With his box office successes and major roles in films and television, Hart seemed destined to take over the comedy world. In 2018, he was selected to host the Oscars, a dream job for any entertainer. However, what should have been the pinnacle of his career soon turned into a public relations disaster. Old homophobic tweets from Hart's past, dating back to between 2009 and 2011, surfaced, causing a firestorm of controversy. In one tweet, Hart joked that if his son played with dolls, he would beat him. The backlash was swift and severe. The Academy gave Hart an ultimatum: apologize or step down as the host. Initially, Hart refused to apologize, claiming that he had already addressed the issue years earlier. Eventually, he stepped down from hosting the Oscars and issued a public apology, but by then, the damage was done. His reputation had been tarnished, and the controversy followed him for months. In addition to the Oscar debacle, Hart's career has been marred by accusations of arrogance and insensitivity. In interviews, he has been known to interrupt female co-stars, mock struggling actors, and make light of serious issues. While his comedic talent remains undeniable, Hart's public image has suffered from his failure to control his ego and his tendency to brush off important matters with humor. Despite the controversies, Kevin Hart has continued to thrive in Hollywood, proving that talent can sometimes overcome even the most public of missteps. However, his journey from the golden boy of comedy to one of Hollywood's most divisive figures shows just how quickly fame can be both a blessing and a curse. Kanye West. Kanye West once revolutionized music, earning critical acclaim for his bold vision and innovative contributions to hip-hop. His work in the early 2000s redefined the genre, with groundbreaking albums like The College Dropout and Late Registration. Kanye was a visionary artist, praised for pushing the boundaries of music production and introducing a new sound to the world. However, over the years, his public outbursts and eccentric behavior have turned him into one of the most controversial and unpredictable figures in pop culture history. The biggest scandal of his career occurred in 2022 when he made anti-Semitic comments, declaring he would go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. The backlash was swift and intense. West lost brand partnerships worth over $1 billion, including his lucrative deal with Adidas. But the controversies didn't stop there. Kanye continued to make headlines for insulting other black artists, including Beyoncé, Jay-Z, and Big Sean. In 2009, he infamously interrupted Taylor Swift's acceptance speech at the MTV Video Music Awards, claiming Beyoncé should have won the award instead. West's personal life has been just as chaotic as his public persona. His marriage to Kim Kardashian ended in a high-profile divorce, and he made an attempt to run for president in 2020, which many saw as a bizarre and misguided move. Despite his musical genius, Kanye's actions and public statements have overshadowed his talent. His career, once full of promise, has become a roller coaster of highs and lows, with his controversial behavior often taking center stage. Kanye West remains an influential figure in music, but his legacy is now intertwined with the drama and chaos that often cloud his artistic achievements. R. Kelly. R. Kelly was once one of the biggest stars in R&B, dominating the charts with timeless hits like I Believe I Can Fly and Ignition Remix. His smooth voice and catchy tunes made him a household name and a key figure in shaping the sound of modern R&B. However, behind the glittering success was one of the darkest secrets in music history. Kelly's legacy has been forever tainted by the horrific abuse of underage girls and young women over many years. His criminal behavior first came to light in 2002, when a disturbing video surfaced showing Kelly engaging in inappropriate conduct with a teenage girl. Despite the evidence, he managed to avoid prison because the victim refused to testify. For years, Kelly continued to be a beloved figure in the music industry, with fans turning a blind eye to the mounting allegations against him. It wasn't until the 2019 documentary Surviving R. Kelly that the full extent of his actions was exposed to the world. The documentary sparked a public outcry and led to Kelly's arrest. In 2022, R. Kelly was convicted on charges of sex trafficking and racketeering, and he was sentenced to 30 years in prison. While his musical achievements are undeniable, his actions as a predator have now overshadowed his career. Kelly's story is a tragic reminder of how fame and success can mask the darkest of truths. His rise to stardom, once filled with accolades and praise, now serves as a cautionary tale of how even the most celebrated figures can fall from grace. Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was once hailed as America's dad, known for his iconic role in The Cosby Show, where he portrayed a father figure admired for his wisdom and moral values. For decades, Cosby used his platform to preach about education, respect, and ethics, becoming a beloved figure in both the entertainment world and society. His influence reached far beyond television, as he became a prominent public figure, offering speeches that championed personal responsibility and positive behavior, particularly within the Black community. However, behind this carefully crafted persona was a dark secret. Cosby had been sexually abusing women for years, with allegations beginning to surface in the early 2000s. By 2014, over 60 women had come forward, sharing eerily similar stories of sexual assault and manipulation. Despite the mounting accusations, Cosby remained a respected figure until the public could no longer ignore the truth. In 2018, Cosby was convicted of aggravated indecent assault against Andrea Constand, a former Temple University employee, and was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Yet, Cosby's fall from grace didn't end with his conviction. In 2021, he was released from prison on a technicality, prompting outrage across the country. His release ignited protests from survivors of his abuse and those who believed justice had not been served. Cosby's story is one of great contradiction. He was both a trailblazer in the entertainment industry and a man whose private life was built on exploitation and lies. His legacy, once defined by wisdom and fatherly charm, is now forever tainted by the horrific actions he hid for decades. O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson was once a celebrated sports icon, known for his incredible talent as a football player and his charismatic personality. As one of the greatest running backs in NFL history, he made a lasting impact on the sport and later transitioned to acting, starring in films and television shows. Simpson was not just an athlete, he was a cultural phenomenon. But all of that changed in 1994 when he became the center of one of the most controversial criminal trials in modern history. The brutal murders of his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ron Goldman in 1994 threw Simpson's life into chaos. His trial, dubbed the "Trial of the Century," captivated the world, with millions tuning in to watch the proceedings. Despite overwhelming evidence, including DNA matching the crime scene and blood-stained footprints, Simpson was acquitted in 1995, sparking widespread debate about race, power, and justice in America. The verdict stunned the public and divided the nation. Many saw Simpson's acquittal as a miscarriage of justice, with accusations of racial bias playing a significant role in the outcome. The trial exposed deep divisions in American society, with people on different sides of the racial and class divide viewing the case through very different lenses. Simpson, once a beloved figure, became synonymous with controversy, and his legacy is forever tainted by the murders and the subsequent trial. O.J. Simpson's case is a stark reminder of how fame, power, and race can shape the pursuit of justice, and how one tragic event can transform a celebrated public figure into one of the most divisive characters in modern history. Suge Knight. Suge Knight is one of the most feared figures in music history, not just for his role as a co-founder of Death Row Records, but for the way he ran the company like a criminal gang. He was pivotal in launching the careers of iconic artists such as Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and Tupac Shakur, but behind the scenes, Knight's leadership was marked by intimidation, violence, and unchecked power. Rather than fostering an environment of collaboration and creativity, Knight was infamous for using threats, extortion, and even physical assaults to maintain control and ensure the success of his label. Knight's reign over Death Row Records was notorious for its brutality. Artists who worked with him were often subjected to coercion and fear, with reports of violence being used to settle disputes or force financial agreements. His influence stretched beyond the music industry, with rumors suggesting his involvement in the deaths of two of the most influential rappers of the 90s, Tupac Shakur and the Notorious B.I.G. While there was never concrete evidence linking him to their murders, Knight's violent reputation and connections with dangerous figures raised suspicions that he played a role in the turbulent and tragic events surrounding both artists' deaths. Despite his criminal behavior and the allegations against him, Knight's impact on the music industry cannot be denied. Death Row Records was instrumental in shaping West Coast hip-hop and bringing it into the mainstream. Knight's legacy, however, is a complicated one, marked by his violent tactics and controversial actions that forever changed the landscape of the music business. His story is one of power, fear, and the dangerous line between artistic success and criminal influence. Russell Simmons. Russell Simmons was one of the pioneers of hip-hop, co-founding Def Jam Records and playing a crucial role in shaping the genre's early success. He helped launch the careers of hip-hop legends like Run DMC, LL Cool J, and Public Enemy, solidifying his place in the history of music. Simmons became an influential figure not just in the music industry but also in fashion and culture, earning accolades for his contributions to the rise of hip-hop as a global cultural force. However, Simmons' legacy is forever tainted by the allegations that surfaced in the wake of the #MeToo movement in 2017. Over a dozen women accused him of sexual assault, rape, and harassment, bringing to light a darker side of the man who had once been revered as an industry mogul. Instead of addressing these serious accusations, Simmons chose to flee the United States, moving to Bali, Indonesia, a country that has no extradition treaty with the U.S. He has remained there ever since, avoiding the legal consequences of the accusations against him. While Simmons' influence on the music industry and hip-hop culture cannot be denied, his personal actions have overshadowed his professional achievements. His decision to run from justice rather than confront the allegations only further damaged his reputation. What was once a celebrated career has now been reduced to a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power and the consequences of turning a blind eye to wrongdoing. Russell Simmons' story highlights the stark contrast between public success and personal accountability, leaving a legacy marred by controversy and unaddressed accusations. Sean Diddy Combs. Sean Diddy Combs, once known as the Prince of Hip Hop, built one of the most powerful empires in the music industry. As a producer, rapper, and businessman, he not only shaped the careers of hip-hop legends like the Notorious B.I.G., Mary J. Blige, and Usher, but also created a multi-billion-dollar empire through his label, Bad Boy Records, and various business ventures. His influence in both music and fashion made him one of the most recognizable figures in entertainment. However, behind the glitz and glamour of his suits and flashy lifestyle, Diddy has long been hiding a darker side, marked by allegations of abuse, manipulation, and exploitation. In 2023, multiple women came forward with lawsuits accusing Diddy of sexual assault, human trafficking, and workplace abuse. His ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, filed a lawsuit accusing him of physical and sexual abuse over the course of their relationship, shedding light on a history of controlling and abusive behavior. Diddy's public persona, which was once synonymous with success, luxury, and hip-hop royalty, has now been overshadowed by these serious allegations. His actions raise questions about the dark side of fame and power in the entertainment industry. The empire that he built is now facing intense scrutiny, and many are left wondering if his reign is coming to an end. While Diddy's achievements in music and business are undeniable, the disturbing accusations against him have forever tainted his legacy. What was once a celebrated career now faces an uncertain future as his past actions come to light, leaving fans, collaborators, and the public grappling with the man behind the empire. Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey is one of the most influential women in the world, a self-made billionaire, media mogul, and an icon who has inspired millions. She is best known for her groundbreaking career as a talk show host, where her platform helped raise awareness on a variety of important social issues. Oprah's rise to success is a testament to her determination, resilience, and ability to connect with audiences on a deeply personal level. However, behind her soft-spoken, compassionate image, some in the industry have described Oprah as having a tough, controlling, and sometimes manipulative personality. One of the biggest shocks came in 2010 when actress Monique accused Oprah of humiliating her on live television. Monique claimed that Oprah blindsided her by inviting abusive family members onto her show without warning, creating a public spectacle. This accusation raised questions about Oprah's true intentions and her role in the media, where she has often been praised for her kindness and advocacy. In addition, Oprah has been the subject of rumors linking her to Jeffrey Epstein, the financier accused of child sexual abuse. Although there is no concrete evidence tying Oprah to Epstein's criminal activities, many have speculated about what she truly knew about the powerful circle she was involved in. These suspicions have led critics to question whether Oprah has overlooked the darker truths of the Hollywood world that she's so deeply embedded in. While Oprah has meticulously controlled her public image throughout her career, the question remains, is she truly the Queen of Hollywood, or is she just a cold, calculating media mogul hiding her true nature behind a facade of warmth and empathy? And there you have it, the 20 biggest black jerks in Hollywood history. From their outrageous actions to their controversial statements, these celebrities have certainly made an impact, but not always in a positive way. Now, we want to hear from you. Who do you think should have made this list? Did we miss any names that deserve to be here? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Hollywood's most controversial stars, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment with your thoughts. Don't forget to support us by subscribing to Legends of Black Excellence. Your support helps us bring more fascinating content your way. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.